You're about to fall for a trick, just like most people do. Let's see if you can spot it. Meet Ronald. His personality is best described as reserved. No doubt, he's an introvert. Now, here's the question. Is Ronald more likely to be a librarian or a salesperson? Take a second, think about it, and lock in your answer. If you guess librarian, you're not alone. Most people do. But here's the twist. There are far more salespeople than librarians in the world. Statistically, it's much more likely that Ronald is a salesperson. This is a classic example of base rate neglect, a decision trap where we ignore the underlying statistics and focus only on details that feel relevant to us. Because Ronald fits our stereotype of a librarian, we overlook the fact that salespeople vastly outnumber librarians in the real world. Here are a couple more examples of the base rate neglect trap. Imagine you're hiring for a leadership role and a candidate is extremely charismatic and well-spoken. You might assume they'll be a great leader. But what about their actual track record? If the data shows that they have struggled with execution in the past, you might be falling into base rate neglect by focusing too much on personality over performance data. Or, let's say a rare disease affects 1 in 10,000 people. A test for the disease is 95% accurate. If someone tests positive, how likely is it that they actually have the disease? Most people would say very likely. But in reality, false positives far outweigh true cases because the disease is so rare to begin with. Ignoring the base rate makes people overestimate their actual risk. Step 3 of Enabling Empowerment's decision-making framework is identify key drivers, which requires a clear understanding of base rates. Without knowing the statistical reality behind key variables, we risk focusing on misleading factors instead of what truly influences the decision. Here are some specific tips for avoiding the base rate neglect trap. 1. Check the base rate first. Before jumping to conclusions, ask, what percentage of the overall population fits this description? Ensure your decision is grounded in actual data. 2. Question the sample size. If a small group or limited data set is driving a decision, be skeptical. The larger the data set, the more reliable the insight. 3. Balance intuition with evidence. If something feels right, verify it against objective data. Stereotypes and gut feelings often mislead us. 4. Use sensitivity analysis. When faced with uncertainty, test how much changing key variables affects the outcome. This helps separate relevant factors from noise. 5. Encourage critical thinking. When team members make claims, push for supporting data instead of relying on anecdotes. Ask, what's the broader trend? Base rate neglect leads to bad decisions in business, hiring, healthcare, and everyday life. The key is to balance intuition with real data. Before making a big decision, always ask, what are the actual numbers behind this? Master this, and you'll make smarter, more informed choices.